What if I told you that most people waste their first date opportunities, not because they aren't interesting enough, but because they never understood what actually makes someone unforgettable? Think about it. When was the last time you walked away from a first date and couldn't stop thinking about the person you just met? That magnetic pull that keeps bringing their face back into your mind for days after. That's not random chemistry. That's deliberate psychology. Most people believe first dates are about impressing someone with achievements or look. They're wrong. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 secrets that make you the person they can't forget. The one they're texting their friends about before they even get home. The date they measure all others against. These aren't gimmicks. These are psychological triggers that create lasting impression. Let me show you how to become unforgettable. Secret number 1, control the energy, not the conversation. You've been told to prepare interesting topics and questions, right? To avoid awkward silences. That's surface level thinking. What truly matters isn't what you talk about. It's the energy you create between you. When you walk into that coffee shop, that restaurant, that bar, you aren't just bringing your word, you're bringing a present, and your presence speaks before your mouth ever opens. Most people try to control the conversation. Unforgettable people control the energy. How? Through intentional presence. Before your date, take 3 deep breaths. Center yourself. Remind yourself, I am not here to be validated, I am here to connect. When you meet them, maintain comfortable eye contact, not staring, not avoiding, connected. Your eyes say, I'm fully here with you. Your shoulders are relaxed, not tense. Your movements are deliberate, not nervous. Your voice carries warmth, not anxiety. This isn't about dominating space. It's about owning yours completely. When you control your energy, something powerful happens. They begin to match you. The conversation flows naturally because you've set the emotional foundation. Remember this, most people never forget how you made them feel. The topics fade, the jokes blur, but the feeling of being with someone who radiates comfortable confidence, that imprint. Control the energy, not the conversation, and watch as they lean in, literally and figuratively, wanting more of what you're creating between you. Secret number 2, create moments of authentic vulnerability. Here's where most people get it catastrophically wrong. They either hide behind a perfect facade, or they trauma dump their life story on the first date. Both are forgettable. Both create distance. The unforgettable approach, strategic vulnerability. I'm talking about small, authentic moments where you lower the mask just enough to create real human connection. When they ask about your work, don't just list achievements. Share a brief moment of challenge that revealed something about your character. My business is going well now, but last year I faced a major setback that taught me something important about resilience. When discussing family, share a value your parents instilled that still guides you. My mom always taught me that how you treat people who can do nothing for you reveals everything. That stuck with me. These aren't random confessions. They're carefully chosen windows into your authentic self. Why does this work? Because vulnerability creates asymmetry in a world of predictable first date script. When everyone else is putting their best foot forward, showing carefully selected pieces of your humanity creates instant intimacy. It signals trust. It invites reciprocity. But here's the key. Vulnerability without confidence is just insecurity. Share these moments with the same confidence you'd share your greatest strength. No fishing for reassurance, no apology. Just honest humanity offered as a gift, not a burden. This contrast, confidence paired with authentic openness, creates a combination few can resist, and even fewer can forget. Secret number 3, master the art of playful challenge. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly seen by someone? Not just heard, but understood on a deeper level. That's the power of playful challenge. Most dates follow a predictable pattern. Polite questions, polite answers, surface-level exchanges that create surface-level connection. Unforgettable people break this pattern by creating moments of gentle, playful challenge. When they tell you something, don't just nod and move on. Tilt your head slightly, smile, and say, is that really true? Or is that what you want to believe? Not in a confrontational way. In a way that says, I'm paying such close attention to you that I can see beneath your words. When they share an opinion they're clearly passionate about, lean in and say, convince me. I'm not sure I'm buying it yet. Then smile to show you're playing. This creates electric tension, the good kind, the kind that makes people feel more alive when they're with you. Why does this work? Because being gently challenged makes people feel respected. It communicates, I see you, as an equal, someone strong enough to handle a little pushback. But there's a fine line here. This isn't about creating debate or discomfort. It's about creating playful friction that sparks connection. Watch their eyes carefully. If they light up and lean in, continue. If they pull back, soften your approach and rebuild safety. Master this balance, and you create moments they'll replay in their mind for days after your date. Secret number 4, create a time bubble experience. Have you ever been with someone and completely lost track of time, where hours felt like minutes, where the world outside seemed to fade away? That's not coincidence. That's the time bubble effect, and you can create it intentionally. Most dates feel like interviews with legs. Question, answer, question, answer. The clock ticks loudly in the background. Unforgettable people create experiences where time seems to bend. How? Through present moment immersion. Start by removing time pressure. Never check your watch or phone. Never mention your next appointment. Create the sense that right now, nothing exists but this moment between you. Next, engage all their senses. Choose venues with atmosphere, ambient lighting, background music, just quiet enough for conversation, perhaps something tactile to interact with together. But the most powerful technique is what I call threading the conversation. Instead of jumping between topics, build on what they say. When they mention loving a particular book, don't just acknowledge and move on. Weave it into a deeper question about what drew them to that story. Connect it to something in your experience. That's interesting you love that author. There's a passage in their work that always stuck with me about human connection. It made me wonder, what's a moment in your life where you felt most connected to someone else? This creates conversational flow that loses its rigid structure. You're no longer taking turns sharing information. You're building something together. The psychological effect is profound. When humans experience flow states with another person, they associate those feelings of aliveness and presence with that person. Create a time bubble experience, and you become associated with a feeling they'll want to return to again and again. Secret number 5, leave with intentional intrigue. The most critical moment of your first date isn't the first impression, it's the last. This is where even good dates often fall apart. They end with awkward goodbyes, vague, "we should do this again" statements, or worse, desperate attempts to secure the next meeting. Unforgettable people understand the power of intentional intrigue. The goal isn't to achieve closure, it's to create an open loop in their mind that begs to be closed. As the date winds down, share something that creates anticipation for next time, not a generic, "this was fun," but a specific thread to be continued. You know, hearing about your passion for Renaissance art makes me think of this hidden gallery I discovered last month. I'd love to show it to you sometime. The way light falls through the windows at sunset, there is something you'd appreciate. Or that perspective you shared about community building reminds me of an experience I had that changed how I see connection. Remind me to tell you that story next time we meet. Then, maintain the same confident energy as you leave. No neediness, no desperate follow-up. Just the calm certainty that what you've started is worth continuing. This creates what psychologists call a Zasgarnik effect. Our brains remember unfinished business more vividly than completed tasks. By leaving an intentional thread hanging, you ensure they carry a piece of your interaction with them. Their mind will return to it, wondering about the unfinished story, the unexplored connection. When you do reach out again, refer back to this thread. It creates continuity and shows you were genuinely present, not just going through dating motion. These 5 secrets work because they target something deeper than attraction. They target how humans form memories and attachments. When you control the energy, not just the conversation, when you create moments of authentic vulnerability, when you master the art of playful challenge, when you build a time bubble experience, and when you leave with intentional intrigue, you become more than a date. You become an experience they want to have again, an experience they can't help but think about, an experience they want to share with others. And that's the ultimate definition of being unforgettable. What most people miss is that being memorable isn't about grand gestures or perfect lines. It's about creating genuine human moments in a world where they've become increasingly rare. Next time you're preparing for a first date, forget the standard advice. Set aside the rehearsed question. Instead, focus on these 5 psychological triggers that create lasting impressions. Because in a world where dating has become a surface-level game, depth is the ultimate differentiator. Be the depth they didn't expect to find. Be the connection they can't stop thinking about. Be unforgettable and watch as they reach out to you, drawn back to the feeling only you created.